And I'm Tara.
We've been teaching at Turtle Island for about 13 years.
We lived here for 2 years, in 2004 to 2005, and we lived in the little Adirondack structure up at the west entrance.
Some of y'all might have passed it on the way in. It's a little three-walled log structure. It's open on one end. I think it's got a sign there now that says you can leave the UPS packages in it. We lived in there for 2 years.
Do you remember when we lived in there?
I do. There was no road then going up to the west entrance.
It was just a trail, all rocky, and so we would walk a 15-minute hike up to meet our vehicle at the top of the hill, and then we could go to town.
We had to go to town a lot. I was going to school at App State. I was very active there and helped co-found the biodiesel program that's there now.
And I helped on that project as well, while also working part-time to raise money and aggressively pay off my student loan debt, which I did the next year. I was $40,000 in debt.
And then we bought land down in Georgia.
And so we've been down there in Georgia farming and doing a lot of really awesome stuff. The lifestyle and the where's my word? The philosophy and the lifestyle here at Turtle Island has really shaped what we're doing in Georgia and our whole lives from that point forward.
We're mostly off the grid. We farm without any mechanical equipment. And we have a very simple lifestyle that's rooted in a really deep connection to our land.
And we make a pretty good living at a pretty relaxed farming business.
We also manage our local farmers market, and Tara teaches yoga a few times a week.
And our daughter, Zinnia, is able to be involved in our lives in all of these projects and is part of our family's economy.
And she wants to say something right now. Do you want to say hello?
Hello.
Thank you. We've lived in a number of different primitive structures since we stayed in that Adirondack. We lived in a teepee for a couple of years. We stayed in an open air loft for a couple of years. Right now, we live in a 10 by 14, something like this. Yeah. 10 by 14 is about like that.
It's about that big. All three of us, we've been living there.
We've been living in that for about 5 years. Zinnia was born in that structure. It's a clay and straw cabin that we built.
And when we say clay and straw, that might conjure, the image that might conjure for you is probably not what it looks like. So we do have some pictures over at our table over there. So you're welcome to come by in a little while and see what it looks like and see the other projects we have going on.
Yeah, we have a table set up right under the classroom space there with those pictures. We're also building a house right now.
And so this house is built with a traditional timber frame structuring, which we learned a lot about living here at Turtle Island. As you look at the buildings around, and then as you look in that photo album, you'll find some similarities in our building styles. But we learned about mortise and tenon joinery, and we have this traditional timber frame structure up on top with a clay straw infill. And that's on top of an 8-foot tall earth bag basement.
The whole thing has cob and lime plasters, and it's coming out really nice. And we were able to permit it, actually with the help of an engineer from right here in Boone, North Carolina.
And so anyway, we are here today for a number of reasons. Paul and I have been trying our whole lives to live in peaceful ways that uplift our world rather than contribute to the destruction of her.
We have learned so much in over a decade of living close to the land, growing our own food, building our own shelters, making our own energy. And we have devoted our adult lives to developing ethical and self-sufficient lifestyle models. And I know that a lot of you all here can really relate to the allure of that. And we've really made a lot of progress towards self-sufficiency.
And in our time, we have learned that self-sufficiency is a myth.
We simply cannot grow all of our own grains, all of our own vegetables, all of our animals, our cooking oils. Even for one frugal household, it's too much.
So what do we do now?
We are not self-sufficient. We could never be.
But we still want our freedom, and we still want to live with integrity.
Our concepts of freedom and sufficiency have become steeped in individualism.
And so, in actuality, the real path forward is through community.
That's another lesson that we learned here. After we left Turtle Island, we got a phone call that Eustace's house had burned down. And we made arrangements as quickly as we could to come back up here and help rebuild.
So I think it was the very next weekend that we were able to get up here. And when we arrived, we were greeted by an amazing, efficient, family reunion-like work party.
This work party consisted of some of the most capable and amazing people that we have ever had the opportunity to work alongside.
And in the time we were here together and in the few weeks following, we were able to build a passive solar dream home.
Through our experience of community here at Turtle Island, we have been blown away by the power of our collective human potential.
And now we're asking you, our community, for help.
And we can't expect you to help if we don't offer anything in return.
So we brought you something. We wrote you a book.
We have been thinking about writing a book for a while, and when Desiree gave us this opportunity, we jumped on it. We didn't sleep for a week, and we knocked out a book for you.
We slept just a little, but not much.
The book is very homemade. It's not polished.
And if there's any grammar and punctuation people out here, you might cringe a little.
But we've learned that you don't have to get all of the commas in all of the right places to say what needs to be said.
And there's a few typos.
Some of them are pretty funny.
We hope you enjoy them.
We've learned that our efforts don't have to be all or nothing.
That just because we can't bring you the perfect book today doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to bring you the best possible book that we can. And so that's what this is. And we think you all will appreciate it because it's a little rough around the edges.
We're a little rough around the edges.
And so if you have half as much fun reading the book as we've had writing it, then you're really in for a treat.
And we can only begin to thank all of the friends that have helped us with this surprise project with an absurdly short due date.
It was like a pop quiz meets term paper.
We hope that this book will show you that you don't have to be a publisher to print a book. You don't have to be a farmer to start a garden.
And you don't have to be a revolutionary to start a revolution.
This book is about taking control of our own lives and doing the best that we can with whatever resources we have available.
It's about finding our connection to the land where our food comes from and to the communities around us.
And it's about uncovering the connections between us and a lot of what is going on in the world today that we would rather not be connected to if we thought about it very much.
And it's about our youth. The teenagers back home who've had a chance to read this book have really told us some great things about their thoughts. And we hope that all of you youth here can read this book too. We wrote it especially for you.
We wanted to bring you this book here and now because this is a powerful place to release these ideas. Right over here in this friendship circle, I have heard some of the most humble, thankful, graceful blessings for a meal that you would likely hear anywhere.
And right up there on that ridge, I have sat in silence with hundreds of children and adults greeting the morning in a sacred, prayerful space.
Right up there on that ridge, I have sat with a child and waited for him to find the courage so that he could walk alone, blindly through the woods in the dark by himself, and met him with the confidence that he needed to find his courage. Over there in that little paddock, I have watched children dig potatoes and shout with joy as if they were treasure, which of course they are.
And there are not many places like this. This place of power. This is a place of power. An accumulation of experiences that have been passed on and will be passed on to our children by some of the wisest, most humble and generous and talented teachers that I have ever known.
The soil here is fertile. If these seeds will grow anywhere, they will grow here.
The earth here and everywhere is our connection, and it's time to reconnect, especially to our basic needs.
It really just takes little steps here and back home in your communities.
Reconnection to our basic needs, our food, our soil, our water, our homes, our communities, each other. And it's easy. It's so simple.
Blow up your TV.
Throw away your paper. Move to the country. Build you a home. Plant a little garden. Eat a lot of peaches. And try to find Jesus on your own.
Of course, if you don't want to blow up your TV, you can just put it in the closet until the next Super Bowl. And it's not about any of that, and it's about all of that.
And we all have the power to reconnect to our basic needs. And doing so will ultimately make your lives easier.
And I'm not saying that living in a teepee was necessarily easier for us.
What I am saying, what we are saying is that living in a teepee was where we had to start to find out what is easier.
And we have found that life is easier if we are connected to the source of our existence.
Our basic needs.
It's hard to be disconnected from the source of our existence. It's hard to work all day and then find time for your family and get food on the table and make all the ends meet.
And it's hard to be isolated from our neighbors and to have to do everything ourselves.
It's hard to be coerced into participation in violent systems.
But it's also hard to see another way.
But it isn't hard to see the next step.
And you don't have to change everything all at once.
It's not all or nothing.
It's just one step at a time.
And we're going to let Charlie talk to you a little bit more about that. But you all can just brew on that for a second. What's one thing that you can do, one thing to reconnect you to a little bit more of one of your basic needs, your food, your water, your shelter, your transportation, your energy, your community? One thing, anything.
All right, in true Turtle Island fashion, we're going to do an experiential education moment. I need all of you to step over here, and we're going to make a big circle. Don't be shy, don't be lame, and hang back. Come on over.
Come on, everybody.